to The Drummer and the Great Mountain, a podcast where we share effective tips and practices for working with adults ADD, ADHD in a natural, effective way without the use of medications. Each episode, join me, your host, Batman Saram, along with the author of The Drummer and the Great Mountain, Michael Joseph Ferguson. Join Michael and myself in an interactive discussion of sharing our stories as we journey together in transforming what can be the gift of being what we call hunter types. This podcast is intended to be your audio companion to the book written by Michael, who joins me each episode where we both will strive to foster dialogue, give you our personal insights, and share both of our experiences on this similar path that we are all on. Our intention and hope is that along with the book, this podcast gives you an additional perspective as you listen to us delve deeper into each chapter of the book to give you even more tools to go along with what it is that you are reading. Visit us at drummerandthegreatmountain.com to purchase the book and look for more tools, tips, and updates, as well as giving us feedback on this podcast. Join our growing global community of creative types, entrepreneurs, and out-of-the-box thinkers on our shared journey. Welcome to The Drummer and the Great Mountain podcast.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Michael Joseph Ferguson. Hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a little crazy the last few weeks with everything going on in the world. I hope you and your families are safe and doing well. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the power of the walk when you're stuck. And so this is a topic that's come up multiple times recently. And I found myself saying the exact same thing as a result of people sharing with me that they are feeling stuck. Their schedule is a schedule that has no strong definition. So maybe they work for themselves, maybe they're retired, or they're out of job right now and they find themselves staying on their phone, not having any kind of structure for the day, and then feeling really bad about themselves. And then not finding a way to get there's all this information, but then how do I start? Where do I start to start building a structure for myself when I don't have a structure and I'm feeling bad about myself that I'm not getting things done? So that is the topic for today's episode. And this is going to be a relatively short episode. I'm going to probably be doing more of these as we move on so I can really give you succinct and actionable steps that you can take on and use them as a way of anchoring your schedule. So just a couple quick notes. I just want to thank everyone who attended our last live online workshop. We just wrapped up. Had a number of familiar faces, some new people that joined us. And I'm just honored and humbled by the amount of talent and skill and kindness that all of you share and share with each other. So much has come out of that. And also we had a really good session at the very end of how do we make this better? And there was quite a few notes and there's things that I've been kind of mulling around because that was our 10th live online workshop. And there's definitely some things I'm going to be adjusting to make it even more satisfying. So I'm very much looking forward. This year is going to be a year of some new creations and some things that I'm excited to share with you all that'll probably around mid-year I'll be announcing. So thank you all so much for joining us. Also, I was just looking over our Amazon listing for Drum and the Great Mountain, and I was pretty blown away that it's still around 4.7, 4.8 out of 5. And there's so many great reviews. So I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to write reviews on Amazon. I was really blown away. And a lot of them were all like, this book was life-changing for me. And I just want to say, one, thank you for taking the time to write it. And two, thank you for sharing that because it helps other people discover this work. So, and then a number of you have reached out recently and I've gotten just some amazing messages. A couple of you left voicemails. Some of you texted me during the holidays. So I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it and it keeps me inspired. because I'm human and I have my own stuff that comes up of like, oh gosh, I hope I'm supporting our audience. And when I get that feedback, it's very reassuring. And it also gives me some clarity about what specifically has been helpful to you. So just thank you so much for taking the time to do that. It really means a lot to me, to Questa, and all the people on our team. So thank you. And I hope that this year is going to be a year where we get a lot more podcasts out. That's going to be a main focus for me over the next few months. It's hard for me to do them during a workshop. I'm just really busy. Both during the workshop and then just answering questions and keeping up with everyone. So this next stretch, I'm going to try to be able to hopefully get in at least 2 a month for everyone. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so here's the challenge. You work from home, you make your own schedule, you're feeling kind of lethargic after a long winter that's been dark and cold, or maybe you're out of work or you're retired and have no structure and things aren't getting done and you feel really bad about it. And basically you have a lot of things kind of weighing you down. You know you should be doing things. Your structure is just not in place at all. So there's both lack of motivation, overwhelm, possibly lack of hope. Maybe you're a little depressed. So what do you do in that situation? And what tends to happen is that stuff starts to build up day after day after day. So you start to see things that don't get done, and then they don't get done, they get pushed out further, and you just feel overwhelmed, but there's no kind of structure in your life right now that's getting you up and out of bed and getting you to do things. And so things just don't get done, and you feel really bad about yourself, but you find it's so hard. It's like having a really heavy, wet blanket on you. You just can't get yourself up and going. So what do you do in this situation? So to begin with, when you're feeling overwhelmed by so many different details, it's so helpful to have one very clear objective. And here's the objective that I'm giving you as a life coach. As soon as you wake up, get outside. As you wake up, you don't look at your phone, you don't check your email, you don't read or watch the news. You get up and you go for a walk. You find a place locally around you that's ideally someplace in nature, a park, a stream, the beach. If you have to get in your car, fine, drive out to that location. That's even better. But ideally, get yourself out for at least 10 minutes. You're forced to deal with the elements. You're forced to deal with being outside. Often when we're feeling stuck, what's happening for most of you, because I've just talked to a lot of you quite regularly, is we're on our phone, we're feeling stressed, and we're distracting ourselves with things because our stress levels are high. We wake up, we're feeling crappy already. And so to reduce the stress levels, we go to whatever our addiction is, whatever our stimuli addiction is. And so when we say, okay, no, that doesn't count. We can't do that right now. The only thing we can do, the clear objective, is we get up and we get outside and we go for a walk for at least 10 minutes. And we try to get ourselves out to some place in nature. Start there. The win for day one, so let's go in chronology here. We're going to go 3 days. Day one, especially if you've been feeling stuck for a while, the win is just getting outside for 10 minutes, first thing, without getting on your phone, checking your email, watching the news. That's the win. Celebrate the win. Get outside and go, okay, I did that. And your brain's going to be saying, yes, but this is such a small win. There's so much that needs to get done. And that's the thought that's keeping you stuck. The stress of that thought is what's keeping you stuck. So you have to really get into the driver's seat again and say, no, I'm celebrating that I at least got myself up and out. So day one, that's the only objective, is just get yourself out for 10 minutes, ideally out in nature. And then from there, oftentimes that's enough to kind of boot the day up, but you don't have to do anything else after that. That's the main objective. Whatever you do for the rest of the day, that's up to you, how you want to structure your day. Day two, do the same thing. Get up, get out, 10 minutes, find a place in nature, but this time, bring a notebook with you. Find a park bench, find some place to sit down or just sit on the grass, bring a pen and something to write on, and do a brain dump and start to write out all the things you know you need to get done. And it's probably going to be a really long list if you're feeling stuck. So do that, just keep writing, here's the things that need to get done. Recognize you might feel a little overwhelmed while you're doing this. Just allow that to be there. And circle at least 3 simple items on your list that you think you could get done pretty quickly. When you get back, aim to get at least one of these simple items done. So you get back to the house, you pick one item, you get it done, you celebrate that you got it done, and then the rest of the day you do what you're going to do. Day 3, same as day 2. You bring a notebook with you. You do not check your phone. You do not check your email. You do not watch the news. You get out 10 minutes, maybe a little longer this time. Maybe you're out for 15 to 20 minutes. Plan your day, do the brain dump, circle the 3 simple items. Again, aim to get at least one of the simple items done, but see if you can pick the next rung up. What's something that's a little harder for you to do that you feel like if you got done or even made progress on it today, you would feel good about yourself. Pick that item, start with that one first. And the goal is not to get it completed. The goal is to make some movement towards getting it done. Okay. And then go to the simple items, see if you can get a couple of those off your list. Now, as we're starting to do this, what I would suggest you do is when you're on the walk in the beginning of the day, plan your next walk. So start to split your day up into little outings that you do going outside. So you start, say, 9 o'clock, you go for your walk and you say, okay, I'm going to eat lunch around 12:30 and then I'm going to go for another walk right after that. And if you're looking for structure, then this is the structure that could really help you, is to just plan these short little walks throughout your day. And even if you get nothing done, and just aim to do the walk. Because what happens over time, from what I've seen just working with so many hunter types, is this simple technique makes a huge difference. It boots you back up again, because what tends to happen is, like I said earlier, we get overwhelmed by so many details. But if we just say, oh, my objective is completely tangential to everything that I think I need to do, which is going for a walk. Okay, I can do that. Oddly, it's the movement, it's getting out in the fresh air, it's having some space outside of the house so that you can get clarity. It's that you're most needing right now. So the goal of this is to do 3 days in a row. You hit 3 days in a row, you win the game. That's what you're aiming for. So instead of thinking, I've got to get all this stuff done, I got to get this done, your only objective is 3 days in a row, getting up and getting out first thing in the morning. You do that, I can almost guarantee you're going to be way more productive and you're going to get yourself out of the stuck place. It doesn't mean that everything's going to go away. It doesn't mean that everything's going to just magically get better, but you at least have one tool in your toolkit that you know is going to at least get you out of the funk. So that's your objective. And I just want to go through this one more time. Again, this is a short podcast because I really, knowing and working with people that are in that stuck space, you just need something clear, succinct, and to the point. So here's the steps. First thing in the morning, get outside. Do not check your phone. Do not do anything else. Objective, 10 minutes, you get outside and you aim to get out into nature. First day, that's the only goal. Second day, you bring a notebook, you do a brain dump, you pick 3 easy items that you think you can get done and get at least one of those done that day. That's the focus. Day 3, same as day 2, plan your day, but this time, for 1, schedule the next outing, and 2, pick a little harder task that you know if you even made some progress on it, you'd feel really good about it. Start there and then start to plan your days around these short outings, getting outside. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If it was, consider hopping on our Facebook page, find this episode in the posts and reply to it. I'd love to hear how it was helpful for you, and specifically, did it get you out of the funk? It's been one of the tried and true tips that I use over and over again, and especially for clients that I've just started working with. So I'd love to hear your story, or you can drop me an email at info@drummerinthegreatmountain.com. So that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will speak to you in a few weeks. So until next time, be well.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about the book, The Drummer and the Great Mountain, visit drummerandthegreatmountain.com. To join us on social media, click the links at the top of the homepage. Help us spread the word. We're a small press and reviews really help. If you've been enjoying the podcast or the book, consider writing a review on iTunes, Amazon, Goodreads, or your podcast app. If you're new to the podcast and want to quickly get up to speed on the concepts we discuss, check out our free 5-day mini course. Visit drummerandthegreatmountain.com/mini course. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover on future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please send us an email at info@drummerandthegreatmountain.com.